So we chop in some garlic, and you can go over the benefits of the garlic, Ben, if you don't mind.
Garlic is fantastic. It is antibacterial. Garlic oil is still used to treat some wounds in other places. It's also antifungal. It lowers blood cholesterol, also blood pressure. So it's a really wonderful thing to add to most dishes. It's great flavor, and of course has the added benefit of keeping vampires away. It's always a plus.
It didn't work on me.
Well, they don't always work 100%.
Okay. Now we're gonna do this. I call it Latin or rabbit la moutarde. Obviously, it has to have mustard. I like mustard. To me, is Dijon mustard style. There's no other way. There's no other mustard than Dijon mustard.
Couldn't be another spicy or a spicy
I say
brown.
could be, but no. But for this kind of dish, I want the rabbit to be the star. I don't want it to be.
Okay.
I want the flavor of the, yeah. I don't want it to be overpowering. But you can use any other mustard, but just to me, that's the way I grew up eating mustard. French fries, put them in a lot of cooking. And we're gonna do some olive oil. That's my aunt's wife. Thank you for sending this from her. She has a few trees of olive in Marrakesh, south of Morocco. And she always managed to send me.
So they pressed these for you?
For family, just for the family use, and it has a nice flavor. This is the first press.
Okay, extra virgin.
And also from her same farm, this is the dried thyme that we're gonna put a couple of spoons in there, teaspoons, or maybe more, maybe a little pepper. Oh, a lot of pepper. At this point, I hold up on the salt because I don't do the salt yet until I taste the paste and see, because some of the mustards are different than others. So you can always add salt, but
you can't take it out.
You can take it. Well, there is other way of taking it out by adding sugar and all that, and
or by adding more of the other ingredients.
But that's more work. It just becomes. And I don't use sugar in my cooking at all, as you know, of health benefits.
Yeah, sugar has none.
Yeah, it does not, and I know that. So we're gonna let that sit for a little bit while we going over the ingredients. The rest of the ingredients, we're gonna have some chicken stock. We're gonna always cook with a good bottle of wine. This is a white wine. There's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that. So you don't want to use the leftover bottles of garbage wine that you saved for those friends that you don't really like.
It depends if you're cooking for another friend that you don't like, so it all depends. So today we have a Sancerre. It's a Sauvignon Blanc from Loire Valley.
Oh, wonderful.
I was looking for actually from the Riesling that would have been better with this dish.
Riesling's a little spicier.
Actually, it's drier, but there are two Rieslings. There's the French and the German. Unfortunately,
right, the dry and the sweet.
The dry, exactly. The Alsatian is dry. The French one is dry. The Alsatian, the German is sweet. But I'm not going for a sweet. I'm going for a dry. So I picked up this nice Sancerre. We're gonna have some, or we're gonna cook with some, and the rest we're gonna of course drink with the meal.
Of course.
Yes. Or during cooking. Paste is ready to go, Ben, and what we're gonna do, I like to, before I do that, I tasted it, so now I can salt. And put a little pepper.
And that Himalayan pink salt is fantastic too.
The mineral.
Yeah.
What are the benefits on that?
Well, it is the mineral content. Also, natural sodium sources are always better than the iodized table salt that you're going to get. Salt contributes to a lot of health problems. These natural forms of salt are always just much more better and bioavailable to the body. They provide more for you to do with them.
So, put in the paste here. You can use your hand. I'm not one of those people who put gloves to cook. I like to feel my food with my hand, but I just wash it as often.
Yeah, gloves are only important if you're working in a restaurant.
It depends on your time. You can let it sit for like half an hour. Let all the juices, all the flavors incorporate, and it's like a marriage. Let them know each other before you put them in the pot. Before you throw them in the mix. The last piece here, that's something that I would have thrown in the stock. But today it's going in the pot with the rest of them. And it's going to add flavor. The bones, so as you know, Ben, the flavors, they all come from bone and fat.
Right.
That's what the flavors are. And the rabbit.
Well, rabbit's exceptionally lean. There's not a lot of fat in there, so whatever little bit that you can get in there, also from the bones, whatever tiny amount of marrow is in those small bones, adds a lot to the flavor profile, adds a lot to the nutritional value of it too. Rabbit's very, very lean. It's mostly protein, but also a lot of the vitamins and minerals that you're going to be able to find in rabbit need a little bit of fat in order for you to be able to digest them properly and to absorb them. So adding that into the stew just creates a better availability for all those nutrients that are in the rabbit, which is a beautiful amino acid profile. It's one of those perfect protein sources, great source of iron, phosphorus, selenium, really, really just excellent meat. It's got some good omega-3s in there. It's beautiful.
What we did here, as you know, we put some olive oil, reheat it, and I know you know this, you get more flavor from the browning of, the more browning you have, the more flavor.
Right, it helps to sear in, lock a little bit more there, which is very good. And we've got that on a nice medium high.
Yeah, medium high.
Sort of medium high heat there.
Again, because of the olive oil, you probably can liberate on this one because the olive oil has a smaller burning point, so that becomes from a good oil.
Right. If you use too high of a heat, it'll end up oxidizing, and that will make the oil a little bit rancid. So we use a little bit lower heat to keep the quality of the oil intact while we're browning this meat.
Also, you want to do this one piece at a time. The reason why I'm doing that, so if you put the whole rabbit in there, it's going to bring the oil temperature down. We want to keep it in the same temperature as much as we can.
So after about 3 minutes or so, we want to go ahead and give those a nice little turn over, get the other side browned up. Okay. We're looking for kind of a golden sear on the bottom side of these.
And the best way to check it, if it's still stuck in there, that means it's not ready yet. But this one looks like it's ready. So it gives it that nice and brown.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, not too brown, not fully cooked, just a nice golden sear on the outside of that.
Well, this one, because it's a thinner.
Yeah.
It's a thinner cut.
Thinner, it'll cook a little bit quicker.
You see, this one is still stuck there, so I'm gonna leave it alone for a few 4 minutes. You want to look. You're looking for this kind of color. I mean, like we mentioned earlier, the more brown, the more flavor. I'm putting some wine to get all the goodness from here. So the chicken stock, this is the rest of the paste. Yeah, we want to get all the goodness in. And you put the rest of the stock in there. Let it simmer.
Now we're understanding that this is done because we lift it from the meat and look how it's just falling right off the bone. That tells you that meat is about done. It's tender enough to fall off of everything. This is very, very soft meat. The carrots that we put in here, those, you can see here that the tongs are just biting right into it. It's good and soft and ready here. The sauce that we've got after removing all the meat and the carrots from it is on a little bit of a higher temperature. We want to reduce this so that we've got a thicker sauce that we can dress our meat and carrots in. And of course, reduction is a lot of the water that's evaporating from it. We get a little bit leftover oil and meat, which creates a great sort of glaze over the dish. So this is fantastic. What we've got here is sort of a demi-glaze. You know, it's not completely watered down, but it's reduced quite a bit enough, maybe about a 1/4 of an inch reduction here. So what we can do is we can ladle this up and just dress your rabbit with a little bit of that, your carrots as well. This just adds a little bit of extra flavor to that meat. And there you have it. That is done and perfect.